According to the Hollywood analyst, there may be a day of reckoning or reorganization at Disney. Welcome back to Views with Hughes or Jennifer News. This is Jerome Hughes. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. So this is coming from Bounty in the comments, where it says here that Hollywood analyst claims Disney reckoning or reorganization is coming shortly. So it says here, Hollywood analyst Matthew Belloni, who I've talked about before, recently claimed that a reckoning is coming for the Walt Disney Company amid massive changes in the entertainment industry that's seeing creations and spending across many of the major companies. So in other words, there's been a bunch of big budget movies and content and programming that's been put out there only to get little returns. It became a problem for Disney. In other words, go woke, go broke. It says here in an article at Puckett that primarily discussed Showtime being consumed into Paramount Plus and marketed as a prestige brand on the streamer. Belloni also discussed the major changes in the entertainment industry and how streaming was a losing bet from the beginning. And he also stated here that it's like streaming is bad business. Costs are greater than revenue, and even if or when these services reach profitability, it's probably never going to be as lucrative as cable. In other words, not going to make as much of a big return. We've kind of always known that, but since the great Netflix correction, we've really known it now. So it also, he says that there's no going back, of course. So these media companies are figuring out how to make streaming work in a manner that convinces investors to back the strategies. Hence, subscription businesses have now become subscription plus ads and will soon become subscription plus ads plus a free tier with many more ads. So in other words, they're going to produce content out there to get them more money from the big companies, but through ad revenue, and try to convince the people out there to become potential customers and viewers and everything to get their services. Okay. But the thing is, ad revenue in most places are going dry. It's going low. It's going low. And it also shows here that the Puck analysts were going to point out that many of the major media companies from Netflix and Warner Brothers Discovery are finding ways to cut costs, whether that is cutting down on the amount of films and TV series they are creating, or removing poorly watched series and films from their streaming services to cut down on hosting expenses. Okay. But then he declared that, and the Disney reckoning, reorganization is coming shortly. Okay, the reckoning might be coming sooner than later for Bob Iger, the CEO of Walt Disney Company, who not only gambled much of their company on Disney Plus, but at the same time began not only alienating but actively insulting and being antagonistic towards much of what used to be their core audience, namely families. Okay, so basically, in other words, go woke, go broke. They continue to put out there the word content, often find virtue signaling in every content that they put out there, even the things that they made from the past, and like based on nostalgia to draw them in and everything, only to boom, virtue signal. Put out there a lot of woke content and everything just to go ahead and try to reach more audiences who don't even care about it for the most part. The people they're trying to reach out to, that's not their core audience. No. That's just people who are much more into things, much more tuned into things, like social media, for example. They don't care about what's on Disney Plus. They don't care about Disney Plus itself. They're into social media more than streaming. They're into Netflix more than Disney Plus. Okay? So it was also noted in that Park Place where Nelson Peltz, with the assistance from former Marvel head Ike Perlmutter, requested a seat as a board of director at Disney back in March. Of course, they're trying to go against it, and they went on ahead and decided to continue further against the campaign against it. So that's when they decided to go ahead and hold on what's called a proxy war at Disney for the board, or a proxy campaign and everything. And he's using Trian Fund Management, officially nominated Peltz for election to the Disney board. A press release explaining the nomination. Trian believes that Disney's recent performance reflects the hard truth that it is a company in crisis with many challenges weighing on investor sentiment. In other words, DEI and the ESG, particularly with BlackRock. A major company, a major investment company that specializes in ESG when it comes to environmentalism, social impact, as well as business governance for businesses. And the core audiences doesn't want any of that. Crazy enough, some of them actually support that, but they don't want any of that content, you know. But it continued that we acknowledge that Disney, like many media companies, is undergoing a challenging pivot to streaming. Disney also benefits from owning best-in-class and intellectual property, a more diversified business mix, and a parks business that is enjoy all-time high profitability. As such, we believe that the company's current problems are primarily self-inflicted and need to be addressed immediately. That's definitely true, because of the fact that the company itself is the one that put out the content, and it also has people who are the showrunners and the people who create the movies and everything, as well as starting the different movies, who are insulting the core audience. You can't do that. Otherwise, you're going to lose your biggest money makers. And usually in this kind of times, it's the people who they made the enemies. Or have we lost track of that? You know? So try and send a letter to Disney shareholders recently who have Peltz replace current board member Michael Foreman. And according to Reuters, a letter read apart shareholders need someone in the boardroom who is experienced enough, committed enough, and objective enough to insist that Disney live up to its full potential. Okay. But the company also says that they claim that they're skeptical of Peltz's motives and believe he would be disruptive at a crucial period of Disney. For Disney. In other words, he's going to be against them politically. He's not going to line up with them or any of that, you know. But let me know your thoughts about this whole thing in the comments below. What do you think that this is going to lead to exactly? Do you think that this will act? What side are you taking? Do you believe in Bob Iger, what he has for the company, or do you believe that Nelson Peltz will come in and help to make it better? Do you think Nelson Peltz should be on chairman of the board? Go ahead and comment below what your thoughts are in the video, and also go ahead and like the video if you enjoy what I shared in it, also the commentary that I shared in it as well. Also, if I went wrong anywhere in the video, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. And also, if you enjoyed all the content I put out there, please subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification, so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Until then, peace.